I help in making season 3 more interesting,
Right.
as opposed to me trying to change something and this is my vision or whatever. Many people have said कि अरे ये अपना यूपी छोड़ के बिहार के तरफ जाएगा.
Yeah.
Yes, there is involvement of the Tyagis. One of the reasons why it's so successful is also because people at some level identify. Mirzapur has always had two directors.
Yeah.
Because handling such a huge star cast, overlaps of dates and everything. मुन्ना भैया को लेफ्ट में शूट किया, अगर उसका हार्ट राइट में तो शायद बच गया होगा. Hi, this is Anand Iyer. You're watching me on IWMBuzz.
Hi everyone, this is Kunal Kothari. You're watching me on IWMBuzz, and with me is the person who's responsible for now entering into the universe जिसकी fandom इतनी crazy है कि आप सोच भी नहीं सकते और आप शायद उसी का एक part है. I'm talking about probably the biggest show on web right now, Mirzapur, and the person with me is Anand Iyer.
Hi, and responsible sounds.
It is like that. It is like that. For people, who don't really know much about, he's directed 4 really, really good episodes in the show. And of course, season 3 I'm talking about. And of course, we'll delve much into it. But let's ask, start with the most patent question. How did the show happen to you?
So, basically, I'm an ad film director. I've been doing it for 2 decades and everything. And the show happened by a twist of fate because my wife worked on Inside Edge, which Guru was directing, and they became really fast friends. And then from there on, I kept meeting Guru, and things fell into place. It's just like one thing led to another, kind.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Super, fantastic. And what I find always fascinating, I mean, you know it, of course, having been into the universe now, the fandom is bananas. Like it's just crazy how loyal they are and how passionate they are. What was the biggest concern for you, going into this season? Because I think right now also, I don't know, I'm sure you must have heard a lot of feedback, but the constant is kya re Munna bhaiya miss kar rahe. But that sounds so stupid to me. He's dead.
So you won't believe, the so-called fan theories and the fandom.
Yeah.
What we've heard. I mean, what the funniest one that I heard is, end में यार they've gone to so much of detail, minute detail. It's fantastic. I mean, it's commendable also. कि यार उसने मुन्ना भैया को लेफ्ट में शूट किया, अगर उसका हार्ट राइट में तो शायद बच गया होगा. So they are spinning like they're going bananas is the right word. They're going all over. They're going to town with it. Yeah.
I know. And you said that the left heart, right heart, it was in luck. If you remember the film.
Yeah.
So I read this theory as well. So I was like, wow, you just had to go as television as possible.
Absolutely.
नहीं जब तक देखा नहीं तब तक हम नहीं
seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
Absolutely.
True. Fantastic. And again, because we talked about the number of, you've directed the second episode that you've co-directed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the solo one is the sixth one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the 9th and 10th, the penultimate and the finale, right?
Yeah.
Which is very, sort of fits into place because those are the episodes with the most action. And I just don't mean action for the sake of it, but the most developments happen in that. Especially in the second episode, I'm saying this because people have been talking about the slow pacing and everything. But the second episode, the whole Purvanchal, Mr. Purvanchal track towards the end, it's crazy. It's, when everybody, it's mayhem. My question to you about that is, how does this design happen that, because Gurmeet is obviously, much more involved. He's the showrunner.
Yeah.
How does this designing happen when you, decide that hum ye co-direct karenge, hum ye solo direct karenge?
So co-direct, see, what happens is almost all episodes, some part of the scenes you direct, not any single scene, but there are parts, because see, it's such a huge star cast. Mirzapur has always had 2 directors.
Yeah.
Because handling such a huge star cast, overlaps of dates and everything. So it comes, so basically the co-directing episodes and the solo episodes are the ones where many of the scenes have been directed by me,
right,
as opposed to the other ones. So.
Okay. But I'm assuming it's a lot to do with directing scenes as opposed to designing episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because then the credit share happens.
So also the thing is, everyone is so well rooted in terms of character. It has been etched out so well and everything. So there is already a character arc built. So it's more about how you work around scenes and everything. And again, it's about splitting stuff depending on who's available when. So that kind of a thing. Yeah.
True, fantastic. And because you mentioned about all these things, what I'm very curious to know is because there is a specific way that this season runs, okay, and I think the most constant criticism, I don't just call it criticism for the sake of it, because but I think the most recurring comment that's come across that ये season बहुत slow लग रहा है. And I actually had a talk with Shweta and Rasika as well about it, and they had their own take to it about what people are saying about this. What is your take?
So the thing is, a lot of people have liked the way this season has proceeded. The ones who have a little are holding back or are saying are the ones who are talking about particular characters, screen time of characters.
Yeah.
To their and that said, the immediate next line is season 4 कब आ रहा है? Please 4 साल मत लगाना. So that shows the love.
Yeah.
So hey, so it's fine. You take that in your stride. My thing is, a show like this of this stature is not made by a single character. It's all of them who come together.
Correct.
And I guess more people identify with a certain character. So every person from the people of various walks of life, ages, and everything watch it. And one of the reasons why it's so successful is also because people at some level identify.
Of course.
And obviously, Munna Bhai came with his own quirks, his jokes, and everything. I feel this season, it's been Rahim who's come with his quotes and poetry and everything, and it's taken the net by fire.
Absolutely.
So it's like fantastic.
I was gonna get to the poems as well, but because oh my god, you do not anticipate where it keeps going, but it was fabulous. And I mentioned that that episode is also such a blasting episode where, and we can talk about spoilers if you have not seen the show, you're living under a rock. but yeah, because we can talk about it, right? Even that moment, when he just kills, he kills Lala, and I'm like, oh shit. These are the kind of things that makes the show. How did that design happen? Like, what was his motive?
So the motive is he gets paid to, and he's saying, as it is, I was not doing anything when I was outside. Andar reke to kam se kam if I can help my family out. And also, if you realize, there's a certain chemistry which develops between Ramakant and
absolutely Rahim.
And what I found really beautiful was when he's thrown in the isolation cell and everything, where Ramakant, sort of can't believe that he's done this, and Ramakant in a way feels cheated कि यार तूने ऐसा कर दिया, because he wasn't expecting that of Rahim.
Correct.
And nobody for that matter expected that, because he seemed like a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
Doing all his stupid shairi and saying all the
correct,
kind
all
of
the
things.
cuss words, yeah.
So that's when Rahim says a very, it struck a chord with me. What he said is, don't try to find your son in me. I'm not your son.
So, yes, absolutely.
So that's what. So I think that character is fantastic, and he's been a lovely addition to this season.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And that also brings me to my next question, because I think, what happened with season 2 is that, the introduction of Sharad, when it came to play, he was also, a new addition. And it happens with shows like this where you have so many seasons, there's going to be multiple seasons, new characters keep coming, going, etc. Right? Because as I mentioned, you deal with such a passionate fandom, and here I think it's a lot crazier than I think in the West.
Sure.
People are crazy there, but there are multiple other things to be crazy about, I guess. Here, when you have these things, what is the thing that you're more cognizant of when you add these new characters and their quirks, in making sure that, okay, how will they, really connect? And if it doesn't connect, then you have to sort of write them off later when you're writing for the next season. Are these things that, concern you?
So the thing is, I'm sure the writers keep cognizance of everything. I mean, I was a late entrant in this season. Writing had already begun by then. But the thing is, the thumb rule is the story is bigger than everyone. Okay, one character doesn't make a story. It is all of these guys who come and make the story, and the story has to progress naturally. And in season 1 ke end, maybe there was this whole red wedding kind of a
massacre. Exactly.
And my wife, though, her heart broke because Bablu was
dead. I swear. Still hits me.
And season 2 mein, again, Munna was dead. So the thing is, the story has to progress. Right now, many people have said कि अरे ये अपना यूपी छोड़ के बिहार के तरफ जाएगा. Yes, there is involvement of the Tyagis.
Exactly.
So it has to go. And Guddu and Golu have escaped now. Where? So that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And coming to the finale, I mean the penultimate episode and the finale, because I think I like the way the chain of events happened towards it. Because I was also one of those people. I love the pacing. I'm one of those people. I love slow burns
Oh yeah.
anyway.
So the thing is, sorry to
No, no,
interject.
please.
The thing is, one more thing. I mean, what I felt really nice reading. I mean, it was a backhanded compliment or whatever you call it. They compared it to the Breaking Bad season 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, the pacing
The
of it,
pacing
and
of it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It's a slow burn. Yeah.
Yeah, that felt good. I mean, that
Mm,
felt good. One does understand. See, you can't sort of please everyone.
of
Yeah,
course.
someone is looking for something, which doesn't mean the product is bad.
True.
But yeah, it has to take its course.
It has
So
to take. I
yeah,
agree. I agree. And I mentioned that because I will get to the parallels between, you mentioned Breaking Bad, but I have another show in my mind
sure.
with that. I'll get to that. But what I want to know about this, the penultimate and the finale is that how much of that, because when you have things on paper ready, everything is ready for you in terms of a script, right? You know there is going to be a trajectory from point A to point Z, right? Do you as filmmaker, when you start designing and directing them, there is there a certain trajectory you want, that okay, I feel that okay, this is gonna go a little down and up, so I want a particular pace to be maintained?
So the thing is, it is not about one particular person wanting something. It's all the story finally, and Guru is the showrunner. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So whatever points I had, I used to run it past him and figure out. So there used to be a cohesive kind of a
Hmm. Hmm.
decision made. So we used to work around that way. So
Super.
yeah,
Right, fantastic. And now coming to the show, I think because you already sort of mentioned Red Wedding, I think this one just went as thematically as it can with Game of Thrones.
that's what I've heard also.
I
Yeah, yeah,
genuinely,
yeah.
I literally had pointers when I was writing my review also, na, and in the best way possible. I people keep sort of slamming it. कि अरे ये तो GOT जैसा हो रहा है, इसके जैसा हो रहा है. No, no, I mean in the best way
Sure,
possible.
sure.
Because when you draw inspiration, it's about how you are inspired, and if you're just copying it for the sake of it, you don't do it. Here, I loved it. Obviously the one obvious one. The way Robin dies. He's killed like Oberyn Martell is killed, and then Kalin Bhaiya's trajectory in this one. I think it was so much like Cersei in GOT season 6. Again, if you're not seen GOT, you're still living under a rock. So, but I mean, that's the kind of thing, and I loved it. So I wanted to ask that how much was Guru, and how much were you, sort of aware about it, or you thought, again, I don't need, there is no certain thing कि ऐसे ही जाना है. Because हम GOT से inspire हो रहे हैं. But was there a conversation around it?
No, there was never a conversation as such around it, but I feel somewhere subliminally you kind of take
Hmm.
inspirations from here and there. One particular thing that I liked about this season was the strength of the woman,
Oh yes, of
which
course.
I feel every woman character has come to fore. Yeah. Be
True.
it Beena, be it Golu, be it the CM,
Hmm.
Zarina,
Zarina,
even
exactly.
Shabnam.
Shabnam, yeah.
So everyone, so which is so refreshing, which is fantastic. I feel because women are strong, and
Yeah.
here you delve into their minds and sort of pick what are they thinking, what is the next move going to be. So
Right.
which is again I thought was very refreshing and nice and different.
True. And because you mentioned about women characters, I think the one I asked this to Rasika as well, because with Beena it's been such a roller coaster.
Sure.
Season 1 has been a very sort of build up kind of a thing. Season 2 she had these crazy moments, and this one again felt a little bit of a build up, because of course she's there, she's giving us zingers in between, like she's sprinkling here and there, and then she's inevitably united with Kalin Bhaiya. What is the kind of trajectory you think it sort of fits for her? Because I think she's the character, she still feels very unsure about things as opposed to others. Like everybody else has one sort of motive कि ओके या तो मुझे गद्दी चाहिए या तो मुझे रिवेंज लेना है. यहाँ पे ऑफ कोर्स शी इज लाइक लुकिंग वेरी मच इनटू द फ्यूचर कि मेरा बेटा अब गद्दी पे आएगा एंड एवरीथिंग. बट डू यू फील इट्स अ कैरेक्टर विद मोर अनसर्टेनिटी देन अदर्स?
Yeah, because he suddenly after season 2 she was left in the lurch. She didn't know what was happening,
Right.
and then she had been wronged also by Bauji.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and so there is that simmering rage that is happening. Next thing is the one given thing is you have the gaddi, you have the power, you rule.
Hmm.
Yeah. So her next thing is how. I mean, who will? It's to look after herself. It's about herself, her kid, because there is no one now.
Absolutely.
So then that's what she's scheming, planning. Maybe, I mean, it might be a little far-fetched at the moment, but maybe someday my son.
Yeah, maybe she might have this, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's grappling with it, and she's also trying to make her little efforts here and there, trying to get in touch with the CM and all that thing. So, yeah.
Correct. True. Two more questions in on this
Sure.
context. One being that if you had like I asked this question because as I mentioned there are so many people involved.
Sure,
In your
sure.
case, Guru and you being primarily, and I think Avinash Singh Tomar, a lot of people. They're writers being the writers. If you had a free hand of just being the sole person, in control to direct season 3, how would you have changed things? I don't mean necessarily good or bad, but of course you would have a certain vision, and then you sort of blend into others, the Guru's vision and others' vision. If you had a free hand, what would you change anything, and if so, what would it be?
No, so the thing is, I really like the way the season 3 turned out to be and everything. Honestly speaking, I'm the new entrant here. So it is more about me blending into it and making sure that I help in making season 3 more interesting,
Right.
as opposed to me trying to change something and this is my vision or whatever. And finally, due credit needs to be given to the writers also.
Absolutely.
Because they are the guys who actually put things into perspective, and the directors have put in the vision and they probably breathe in life into the words and everything. So I honestly wouldn't want to change anything.
Super, fantastic. And the final question in this context, because I think, if I'm not wrong, apart from Love in the Time of Corona, this is your like
First.
foray into this
debut.
mainstream sort of thing, right? It's a debut. Now that you've tasted blood, okay, that's how I term it. Okay, now that you've tasted blood, what are the kind of things that interest you the most?
So to me, as genres, I really like crime thrillers and dark comedies. So
Nice.
that's it. So, and huge inspirations. I mean, like filmmakers. I mean, I like Sriram Raghavan's work.
I was gonna say Sriram Raghavan is an obvious
I
one.
really think Shimit Aman is fantastic.
Where is he? Where is Shimit Amin?
Get out of the rock, Shimit.
Exactly. But long time, dude. Long time.
And I think Sai Paranspe was
course.
so ahead of
Oh
her.
my God.
So these
Oh
are,
my God.
I mean, there's so much to learn from all these people and everything. I'm talking from within our country itself.
Absolutely. That global being a completely different
And
world.
then Malayalam cinema, man, it's like light years ahead.
Oh my God. They're living in a different era altogether with intelligence in their films. I agree.
And every day you watch a new movie and it just slammed in your face. Oh my God, how simple was that idea?
Exactly.
I mean, why didn't I think of it? And honestly, that's where I feel the writers, I mean, they're so gifted.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, I can't ever think of myself churning out something. I might have a seed of an idea, but the way they put it into screenplay,
Yes,
that's like
that's crazy.
Beautiful.
And completely off topic, but I don't know if you've seen Maharaja.
I saw it. Of course.
I am still not over it. I saw
It's
it a day before yesterday on Netflix, and I'm still not over it. It's a masterclass in screenplay for people out there.
Yeah, completely. And the final twist,
It's
I'm not
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, that we won't spoil. Don't worry. That we won't spoil for you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Super.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.